After the death of the holy patriarch and father of our Queen, the angels of her guard at once returned to the presence of Mary and related to her what had happened in the passing away of her father. And immediately the most prudent child turned in solicitous prayers to the Lord, asking him to console, govern, and assist her mother Anne with fatherly kindness in her solicitude after the death of her husband. Saint Anne also sent notice of the death of Joachim to the instructress of the heavenly princess, asking her to console the child in breaking this news to her. The teacher acted accordingly, and the most wise child listened to her thankfully, concealing her own knowledge. However, it was with the patience and modesty of a queen, and of one who was not oblivious of the possibility of the event, which her instructress related to her as new. Acting in all things according to the highest perfection, she betook herself at once into the temple, reiterating her sacrifice of praise, humility, patience, and of other virtues, and progressing always with more accelerated and beautiful steps in the eyes of the Most High. As a climax of these exercises, she, as usual, requested the holy angels to concur and assist in blessing God. Instruction which the Queen of Heaven gave me. My daughter, renovate many times in the secret of thy heart thy esteem for the blessing of tribulations, which the hidden providence of God dispenses for the justification of mortals. These are the judgments justified in themselves, and more valuable than precious stones and gold, more sweet than the honeycomb, to those who know how to hold them in proper esteem. I wish thee to remember, my beloved, that to suffer and to be afflicted with or without one's fault is a benefit of which one cannot be worthy without special and great mercy of the Almighty. Moreover, to be allowed to suffer for one's sins is not only a mercy, but is demanded by justice. Behold, however, the great insanity of the children of Adam nowadays in desiring and seeking after emoluments, benefits, and favors agreeable to their senses, and in sleeplessly striving to avert from themselves that which is painful or includes any hardship or trouble. It would be to their greatest benefit to seek tribulations diligently, even when unmerited, yet they strive by all means to avoid them, even when merited, and even though they cannot be happy and blessed without having undergone such sufferings. When gold is untouched by the furnace heat, the iron by the file, the grain by the grinding stone or flail, the grapes by the wine press, they are all useless and will not attain the end for which they are created. Why then will mortals continue to deceive themselves by expecting, in spite of their sins, to become pure and worthy of enjoying God without the furnace or the file of sorrows? If they were incapable and unworthy of attaining to the crown and reward of the infinite and eternal good when innocent, how can they attain it when they are in darkness and in disgrace before the Almighty? In addition to this, the sons of perdition are exerting all their powers to remain unworthy and hostile to God, and in evading crosses and afflictions which are the paths left open for returning to God, in rejecting the light of the intellect, which is the means of recognizing the deceptiveness of visible things, in refusing the nourishment of the just, which is the only means of grace, the price of glory, and above all, in repudiating the legitimate inheritance selected by my Son and Lord for himself and for all his elect, since he was born and lived continually in afflictions and died upon the cross. By such standards, my daughter, must thou measure the value of suffering, which the worldly will not understand. Since they are unworthy of heavenly knowledge, they despise it in proportion to their ignorance. Rejoice and congratulate thyself in thy sufferings, and whenever the Almighty deigns to send thee any, hasten to meet it and welcome it as one of his blessings and pledges of his glorious love. Furnish thy heart with magnanimity and constancy, so that when occasion of suffering is given thee, thou mayest bear it with the same equanimity as the prosperous and agreeable things. Be not filled with sadness in executing that which thou hast promised in gladness, for the Lord loves those that are equally ready to give as to receive. Sacrifice thy heart and all thy faculties as a holocaust of patience, and chant in new hymns of praise and joy the justification of the Most High, whenever, in the place of thy peregrination, he signalizes and distinguishes thee as his own with the signs of his friendship, which are no other than the tribulations and trials of suffering. Take notice, my dearest, that my most holy Son and myself are trying to find among those who have arrived at the way of the cross some soul whom we can instruct systematically in this divine science, and whom we can withdraw from the worldly and diabolical wisdom in which the sons of Adam, with blind stubbornness, are rejecting the salutary discipline of sufferings. If thou wishest to be our disciple, enter into this school, in which alone is taught the doctrine of the cross and the manner of reaching true peace and veritable delights. With this wisdom, the earthly love of sensible pleasures and riches is not compatible, nor the vain ostentation and pomp which fascinates the blear-eyed worldlings who are so covetous of passing honors, and so full of ignorant admiration for costly grandeur. Thou, my daughter, choose for thyself the better part of being among the lowly and the forgotten ones of this world. I was mother of the God-man himself, and on that account mistress of all creation conjointly with my son. Yet I was little known, and my son very much despised by men. If this doctrine were not most valuable and secure, we would not have taught it by word and example. This is the light which shines in the darkness, loved by the elect and abhorred by the reprobate.